Welcome back to At Any Cost. Today I'm going to show you how to make your opponents look like this by using these yellow cards in your Twin Suns deck. These cunning cards are going to help you maintain tempo, they don't require any synergy, and they're going to tip the scales with a few surprises on your opponents. Up first, we got our strong cunning villainy units. General Grievous is a 2-cost 3/3 hidden. When this unit is attacked, return him to his owner's hand before damage is dealt. So he, just like in Clone Wars, is a sneaky little unit and keeps bouncing back to your hand unless they use card ability to defeat him. Next is Lurking TIE Phantom, 3-cost, 2/2, Raid 2. This unit can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. So there's very few things I can do with this card outside of just plain combat damage. So they're going to have units in space and actively attack this card to get rid of it. Next is Zero the Hutt, 5-cost, 2/8, big booty. When played, for each opponent, you may exhaust a unit that player controls. So immediately when it comes in, it's tapping down one unit for every opponent. And then on attack, for each opponent, you may exhaust a resource that player controls. This card will upset people, but if you use it correctly, you can mess with enough people's game plan to keep that tempo for you pushing forward. Next is Grand Moff Tarkin, 6-cost, 2/6. When played, take control of an enemy non-leader vehicle unit. There will be space units. You will be able to take something. And when this unit leaves play, the unit's owner takes control of that unit. So this is just a great card to take something and put it under your control as long as Moff Tarkin stays alive. And last is Grand Admiral Thrawn, 7-cost, 8/7. When played, an opponent may choose a non-leader unit they control. If they do, this unit captures that unit. And if they don't, ready this unit. So this is a potential closer. Most people might let you capture just to avoid readying 8 damage. But when defeated, a friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader unit in the same arena. So even if he dies, he's still capturing something, and it says non-leader unit, so if you can take one of your opponent's big bombs, then you've just 2 for 2. On to some Hero Risen units. Up first, we got Millennium Falcon, 3-cost, 3/4. This is a great closer or just some sneak damage. This unit enters play ready. When you ready cards during the regroup phase, you either pay 1 or return this unit to her owner's hand. So, comes at a cost, but great sneak damage. Next is Han Solo, probably the second best pilot in the game after Chewbacca. It says 5 costs, but you're really going to pay the 2. It is an upgrade, 2/3 ambush. When played as an upgrade, you may attack with attached unit. If it's the Millennium Falcon, it deals its combat damage before the defender. So 2 major things working for this. It's overstatted, +2, +3. That's 5 stats for a 2-cost upgrade. I think it should be like 4 is the running curve. Overstatted, and it has ambush, and if you're lucky enough to put it on a Millennium Falcon, it deals combat damage first. Next is Chewbacca, 5-cost, 3/6, Sentinel. When this unit is attacked, ready him. He's just slightly understated, but that's because he has an amazing ability that's going to make your opponents think twice, because if they attack him, he readies, and that's free damage for you. And last, Rose Tico is a great closer or sneak attack damage from Cunning Heroism, 5-cost, 5/5. If you control a non-unique unit, which you will in Twin Suns, this unit enters play ready. So, great 5 sneak attack damage that someone is inspecting. Maybe it gets somebody, to lethal. You heal that 5 and win the game. Next, we'll cover some neutral units. Up first is 3-cost Cicatro Vizago. 3/4, on attack, reveal the top card of your deck. An opponent may pay 1. If they don't, draw that card. Nobody's going to argue over who's going to pay that 1. Nobody wants to pay the 1. You will be drawing cards. Next is Galen Urso, 3-cost, 0/5. When played, you may have an opponent take control of this unit, so you get to choose, and then enemy units gain Raid 1 Saboteur. Give this to the least popular player at the table. People aren't going to want to touch him. That person's going to have to spend resources to try to get rid of him, and everybody else is going to get Raid 1 Saboteur and just start punching their base. Next is 5-cost. This is a little personal bias for me. Duchess Investigators, 4/4. When played, you may disclose 1 Cunning. If you do, each opponent discards a random card from the hand. It's not going to make people happy, but it's hand discard, and I love it. Next is Sanctioner Shuttle. It is a 3-cost, 2/3. Republic Transport in Space, coordinate. When played, this unit captures an enemy non-leader unit that costs 3 or less. So a lot of people like to make their small units tall towers. You can capture this and help the tempo in your favor. Next is one of the best space units in the game, and it creates tons of chaos in Star Wars Unlimited Twin Suns. It's the Stolen AT Hauler, 4/5. When defeated, choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard pile for free. So when someone kills it, they put it in their discard pile, they can play it for free later in that phase. This does eventually get removed out of the game, but man, it gets passed around a lot and creates a lot of fun. On to our pumps and closers. First up is Breaking In, 2 cost. Attack with the unit, it gets +2 and gains Saboteur. Great way to get through Sentinels. Next is Surprise Strike, another 2 cost. Attack with the unit, it gets +3/+0 for this attack, but doesn't have the Saboteur, but it's a great way to close. Next is Sneak Attack, 2 cost. Play a unit from your hand. It costs 3 less and enters play ready. At the start of the regroup phase, defeat it. So great closer. Bringing up hopefully a bigger unit. Maybe you're playing later in the game. It comes in ready, hits, attacks, kills somebody, heals 5 damage. Next is Triple Dark Raid, 3 cost. You're going to search the top 7 cards for a vehicle, play it. It comes in ready, and it costs 5 less to play. So this is a great way to bring in a big bomb early. Comes in ready, you can swing with it, and then it goes back to your hand after it's done. So even if the game isn't over, you can play it next round. And we're going to mention her again, Rose Tico, 5 cost 5/5. If you control a non-unique unit, she comes in ready. Again, another way to bring in quick 5 easy damage, just to close the game. Next, we're going to talk about bounce. Remember when we talked about tempo at the beginning of the video? Bounce is another way to help make sure your opponent stays on their heel, kind of on their back foot, and putting units back in their hand. First one is Waylay, 3 cost. Just simple, return a non-leader unit to its owner hand. What's really cool is this does not have a cost to it. Like, you don't have to bounce like something below 6 costs, like I'm going to show you in a second. This can bounce any non-leader unit. Next is Spare the Target, 3 cost, Heroism. Return an enemy non-leader unit to its owner's hand. Collect that unit's bounties. So it's another Waylay, except now if the unit has a bounty on it, you can collect it when it gets bounced. It's a nice little bonus. Next is Beguile. This is the same as Waylay, except you get to look at the opponent's hand, and you can only bounce something that costs 6 or less, and it returns to its owner's hand. So a little more niche in what it can be used for, but you can't underestimate looking at somebody's hand sometimes. A more surprising thing that Cunning can do that maybe people aren't as aware of is what I call Pseudo Sentinel. It's cards like this, like Implicate, 2 cost. Choose a unit for this phase, it gains Sentinel, and when this unit is attacked, create a spy token. So I've got some cards here that are going to help you, again, surprise your enemies, throw off their tempo, give something Sentinel that maybe didn't have Sentinel. Next is a 1 cost Diversion. Simple, just give a unit Sentinel for this phase. Maybe someone played a big unit in your ground arena or space arena. You have a little, small unit there, and you just need to stop that damage from coming to you. You can give that unit Sentinel. Next is 2 cost Force Illusion. Exhaust an enemy unit. So for a little more cost, you can exhaust something. And a friendly unit gains Sentinel for this phase. It sounds like you get to pick that. So exhaust one of their big things, give something Sentinel. Again, trying to stop that damage to your base. And one of the best things that Cunning or Yellow is best at is maintaining that tempo and exhausting units or maybe readying yours. Here's some examples. First is Bamboozle, 2 cost Heroism. You may discard a Cunning card from your hand instead of paying this event's cost. So if you have yellow cost, this can be free. Exhaust a unit and return each upgrade on its owner's hand. An important word that's not on here is non-leader, meaning you can exhaust somebody's leader. So if you've got a pilot leader that's not Luke pilot, you can exhaust that unit and basically kill their pilot leader. This does not work on the Chewbacca unit, but it works on most pilots and upgrades, and it can be played for free. Next is 2 cost Villainy. Exhaust a unit, and this unit can't ready this round, including during the regroup phase. So if you can put this on a unit before they attack, you can essentially negate this card for 2 rounds, meaning this phase and then the next phase it can't regroup. Next is 3 cost Cat and Mouse. Villainy, exhaust an enemy unit. If you do, ready a friendly unit in the same arena with power equal to or less to that enemy unit. So you can exhaust one of their major units and then ready maybe one of your medium-sized units, stopping their damage and giving you more. Next is Evade Arrest, 3 cost. This is great. This should be in everyone's yellow deck just because there's a lot of token like swarm strategy Twin Suns decks that do really well. It says exhaust any number of non-unique units. So this can be everybody's board. It doesn't say ground, doesn't say space. It can be anybody. So this can exhaust many units, especially if someone's doing swarm, or especially if somebody's playing some weak non-unique units. Next is Outmaneuver, one of the best exhausts in the game. 3 cost, choose an arena, ground or space, exhaust each unit in that arena. So it does impact your units, but you can exhaust, let's say somebody's swarming in space, right? Or they've got some big stuff in space. You can exhaust everybody's space arena, including yours, to help prevent that damage. Next is Lux Bonteri, 2 cost. 3-2, when an opponent plays a card, if that opponent paid less than the card's cost to play, ready or exhaust a unit. So it didn't say your unit. You can use this as some bartering to ready an opponent's unit, even yours if you want to. This is going to apply to like exploit. If you've got some Dooku decks like I've shown, they're going to exploit cards. This also applies to pilot upgrades, right? So if you have a 5-cost unit, but it can, like the Han Solo from earlier, but you pay 2 to play as an upgrade pilot, that would trigger this Lux card to ready or exhaust a unit. And next and last is hold for questioning, 3-cost villainy, exhaust an enemy unit. If you do, look at its controller's hand and discard a card from it that shares an aspect with that unit. So let's say you exhaust a blue unit. By the way, they have to be ready and you have to exhaust them. Like you can't pick an already exhausted card. But if you exhaust a ready unit, you get to look at their hand and discard something. This is one of my favorite cards in Cunning Villainy because not only do I get to discard something from somebody's hand, I get to exhaust one of their units and up my tempo. And finally, here we've got just 2 honorable mentions. The first one is evacuate, 6-cost, return each non-leader unit to its owner's hand. So if you've managed to keep your leaders on the board and nobody else's, you can play this card at 6, which is still, close to the end of the game, but it's still in the game. You can return all those units to their hand, keep your leaders on the board, and start swinging. Last is Final Showdown. It's a double Cunning, 6-cost. So if you're one of those people who are doing a double aspect and you have Cunning, this would be a great card. Ready each unit you control, and at the start of the regroup phase, you lose the game. So this is one of those like swing for the fences type cards. You're gonna ready everything, hopefully remove all the cards. I might need a rule clarification on this. Like maybe you do lose if you don't kill everybody, because I'm just now realizing you heal 5 damage and like maybe you don't have, even if you do have the most, you then lose. I don't know. It's a great risk. If you want to try it, let me know what you think. All right, and that's what I have for you today. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me what I was right and what I was wrong with, and I'll see you in the next video.